Now, this is a very bit of interesting news, and one that I think would be well worth it for a lot of reasons. So, anybody that knows or follows the channel or knows me knows that I was the guy who many years ago got into a little bit of a tuft with then head of Xbox Phil Spencer. And it was funny because at the time, and people forget this, or they think differently, or they think that it was for a different reason, but Quantum Break was a thing, right, in this game, and they announced for 3 years this was going to be Xbox exclusive on Xbox One. It was great. My older brother, who, is very much like a PC gamer, really liked the look of the game, liked what Remedy does, so spent the $500+ to get an Xbox One specifically for this. And he bought it, as soon as they showed it off or whatever. And, Phil Spencer's like 3 weeks before launch, no, we're going to put it on PC. And I was real pissed off. I'm like, people could have bought an Xbox One that didn't need to, right? Or, like when you're promising something for 3 years, maybe don't spring this on them 3 weeks. Like, that was always my take on it. Yeah, it was silly to put everything on PC because it's clear that the majority of the stuff on PC doesn't sell well, right? I mean, if I were running Xbox, I would not have Gears or Halo or Fable, and I wouldn't have any of those games on PC. I would put some of the Bethesda stuff on there and possibly Forza Horizon, but outside of that, they wouldn't get anything. As far as I'm concerned. But, that's just me. At the end of the day, that's just going to be one of the things that I just kind of stand my ground with, as far as I've been concerned. So, I'm really kind of interested to see how this goes. But what's even more interested in, originally, remember that was just going to be Windows, right? That was just supposed to be for Windows. It was like, we're just going to put our games on Windows and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, this is interesting. I'm going to get into it. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hype up the video. Watch it as long as possible. Those things help the videos to be seen and the channel to grow. I do daily gaming content, and, the channel's been growing again, which has been awesome. Thank you, guys. So according to the Insider, Xbox could leave Steam altogether. That's a very interesting situation because a lot of people assume that they would never do that. But I've always said, how do you make money if you're offering and you have your games on a platform that's not your own? Like, that doesn't make sense. So a new insider report suggests that Xbox could pull itself in a position to pull out of Steam as part of a greater change to the company's PC strategy. The Microsoft gaming brand has been pushing its intake to make significant changes to Xbox in recent months, and the new leadership at Xbox is looking to bring sweeping overhauls to the popular Microsoft gaming brand. Xbox officially named Asha Sharma as new CEO in early 2026 after years as president of Microsoft Core AI division following the departure of longtime Xbox head Phil Spencer. Sharma has already addressed fan feedback about Xbox's shift to multi-platform releasing, suggesting that the company is returning to more console exclusives and putting a bigger focus on the Xbox community. Now, Xbox may have a strategy in place for a company to make an exit from Steam altogether, which, think about that for a second. How huge would that be, right? And the funny thing is like, you have a situation where a lot of these Steam folks or whatever, they realistically, the things that they do are, that fan base is very fervent, but only for that, only for Steam. They're not going to buy, an Xbox. They're not going to go into the Windows Store or whatever. And so, to me, I would leave it all together. Like, the little bit that you might get in whatever, just imagine the next Fallout or whatever. I think, was it Fallout 4 did like huge numbers on Steam. Now imagine if they could only get it on, Xbox or PC through Windows. I think that would be huge because I think people, if they really wanted to play it, would do that. I mean, if you got a PC, there's nothing stopping you from, having Windows, because every PC pretty much runs Windows anyway. There's nothing stopping you from having that on the platform and then downloading the game, etc., etc. That just makes sense to me to be able to do that, and so hopefully that would be the case kind of going forward. You have this situation where you have these games that are going to be viable and playable to everyone. And so again, like, everybody does this, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, like, you have to be able to offer these different things that are going to get people, attracted to your platform and interested in what you're doing. And I think this is like a very smart way to do that. Imagine Xbox pulling out of Steam the amount of, I think, just overall the amount of kind of newsworthiness that would be, right? Like that's crazy to me that that would happen the way that it would. But yeah, like I think that would be well needed, especially when you come out with Helix or whatever, to be able to say, okay, well, yeah, everything we do is only Xbox or whatever the case may be, or through our stores, and that's how it's going to be. And I think that would be a great way to go about it. So in a recent episode of the podcast, insider Jez Gordon recently shared that Microsoft looks to be working to leave Steam. According to Gordon, Microsoft is planning to make significant changes to Xbox's presence on PC, considering options that would give the company an opportunity to leave Steam. Gordon was quick to stress that Microsoft's plans are not certain and that the company has not shared any direct intentions to stop bringing games to Steam, saying that Microsoft could go either way on the move. The interview also could not confirm whether Microsoft would simply stop bringing new games to Steam or remove its older game as well. I doubt they'd remove the old games, but Microsoft leaving Steam would see one of the gaming's biggest brands shedding its support for PC's biggest platform. Many of Microsoft's most notable new releases have come to Steam, either alongside their Xbox launch or shortly thereafter, including games like Halo Campaign Evolved, which did very poorly on Steam, and Forza Horizon 6, which did fairly good. The 2019 release of Halo Master Chief Collection also brought many of the older previously Xbox released games to PC for the first time, including classics like Halo 3 and Reach. Microsoft has not made a public statement about an intent to leave Steam, but this is just a rumor at the moment, and so treat it as such. Again, these are going to be things that I think all of us look to and say, that's a very interesting topic if you think about it, and I do think that Microsoft could do things that gets people even more excited about their own brand or whatever. Like, look at what the rest of the companies are doing. The rest of the companies would never dilute their own brands and stuff like that by doing what Microsoft does. Microsoft owns Windows, which is something, it's like the overwhelming majority of what users use right now, right? So again, it's a very unique situation that we find ourselves in, but I do think that Microsoft could do something that realistically would make people kind of rethink the idea of ditching Xbox or whatever. So listen, I'm all for it. I personally don't care about PC in any way, shape, or form. I always thought that the ideas behind Helix were absolutely asinine to begin with, for a lot of reasons. I think mainly because how could you plan to do anything or offer something that people are going to actually want to buy if your platform is out there, and you give people the option to not have your own kind of games and stuff like that. So we'll see how this kind of works out. Again, it's going to be super interesting to kind of see how Microsoft plays it. They could do anything, man. They could go and completely screw everybody over and just go, yeah, we're going to keep our games on, on PlayStation, on Steam, and we're going to have no disk drive, and, you might as well include in that statement, we don't want anybody to buy our stuff ever again anyway, because at that point, I don't think anybody would. So, yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see how all this plays out, and, I do believe that I hope that they do the right things, right? Like, I have faith that they're going to do the things that we're looking to do, that are going to be right. But at the same point in time, like, it wouldn't shock me to see them do something else. But to me, anyway, why follow the market leader into ruin, right? It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me anyway. But I honestly feel like it's something that Microsoft could be very interested in doing if they actually want to go out there and achieve something that's a little bit different. So, again, we'll see how things go, and, we'll see how gaming kind of reacts to what they're doing, and hopefully, it's going to be a good thing. I honestly do think that Microsoft will do the right thing and do right by its gamers, and that could be the biggest news that we get as fans in a very, very long time. Now, is that going to change gaming in general? Listen, I don't know. But in a situation where next gen looks to be light on console sales all around, I think Microsoft could definitely make some moves that impress some people. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate it. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.